Hello and welcome back. These are the finds from my latest flea market trip. This lot includes several vintage cameras I bought for €80, together with lenses, filters and other accessories. Let's take a closer look at what I discovered this time. While going through this lot, I found something interesting. One of these old cameras still had a film roll inside. I won't spoil it now, but at the end I'll show you what's next. Several more cameras with undeveloped film ready for the next episode.
Released in 1976, the Pentax MX was the company's flagship, fully mechanical 35mm SLR. Compact, yet exceptionally solid, it offered shutter speeds up to 1/1000th of a second and full manual exposure control. Favored by professionals for its reliability and bright viewfinder, the MX became one of Pentax's best-built cameras. Originally priced around $300.
Now we're moving on to the second camera from this lot. Let's take a closer look and see what this one can do. Back then, taking a selfie wasn't so easy. You had to set the focus, frame the shot and use a mechanical self-timer, usually a small lever or spring that gave you just a few seconds to get in position. No screens, no previews, just hope for the best.
Released in 1976, the Pentax MX was the company's flagship, fully mechanical 35mm SLR. Compact, yet exceptionally solid, it offered shutter speeds up to 1/1000th of a second and full manual exposure control. Favored by professionals for its reliability and bright viewfinder, the MX became one of Pentax's best-built cameras. Originally priced around $300, it remains a benchmark for precision engineering in classic film photography.
From both sides of the camera, this is how it looked back then. Next, let's take a look at the accessories that came with this lot. There were a few cleaning tools, filters, and even an old flash unit. inside the flash I found this note. It says, Dolly Ojema, P.O. Box 86136, Mombasa, Kenya. I have no idea how it ended up here in Germany, but it adds a bit of mystery to this vintage collection. Next, I moved on to the lenses. Inside one of the old cases, I found something unexpected, a vintage necklace carefully tucked inside. Maybe it belonged to the previous owner, or it was hidden there for decades without anyone noticing. The next few cameras I bought together for about 45 euros. It was another small box full of surprises. Along with the cameras, there was this beautiful old clock made in West Germany sometime in the mid-20th century. You can really feel the craftsmanship in the metal frame and the dial design. Unfortunately, the mechanism doesn't work anymore, but the piece itself still carries a certain charm, a reminder of the time when even simple objects were built to last. I always love finding small details like this because they tell a story that goes beyond just cameras and lenses. Two worlds through one frame, the eye and the lens.
Introduced in the early 1950s, the Agfa Isolette II was a compact medium-format folding camera made in West Germany. It featured an Agfa Agnar 85mm f 4.5 lens and a vario shutter up to 1/125th of a second. Producing crisp 6 by 6 centimeter images on 120 film, it became a trusted travel companion of its era. Priced around 110 Deutsche Marks, the Isolette 2 remains a timeless symbol of Agfa's post-war craftsmanship.
The Plaubill Machina was one of Germany's finest folding cameras, produced in the late 1920s and early 1930s. Built with a high-precision Compur shutter and a premium anti-Komar lens, it delivered remarkable image quality for its era. When it first appeared on the market, the Machina sold for around 300 Reichsmark, a price equal to more than 1,000 euros today. With its solid metal body and beautifully engineered mechanics, it became a true icon of pre-war German craftsmanship.
Produced in Germany between 1933 and 1942, the Agfa Billy record was one of the company's most elegant folding cameras. It featured an Agfa Anastigmat 85mm lens and a precision Compur shutter capable of exposures up to 1 second. Priced at around 60 Reichsmarks, it was an affordable yet reliable choice for travelers and amateur photographers of the 1930s. Today, the Billy record stands as a beautiful reminder of Agfa's pre-war craftsmanship and design.
The Agfa Belia was introduced in West Germany in the mid-1950s as a compact folding camera for 120 film. It featured a 70mm Agnar f9 lens and a simple synchro flash shutter, offering both instant and bulb modes. With its lightweight bakelite body and clean design, it was aimed at the growing post-war middle class who wanted affordable photography. Originally sold for around 45 Deutsche Marks, the Belia remains a charming symbol of Agfa's mid-century design.
And this is the last camera from the lot. A solid piece of engineering with that classic vintage feel. I always find it fascinating how well these old cameras were built. Decades later, most of them still open, focus and click perfectly. After this one, we'll do a test with the vintage flash to see if it still fires properly after all these years.
The Canon AT-1, released in 1977, was the fully manual sibling of the AE-1. It offered complete control to photographers who preferred precision over automation. Paired with the classic 50mm f/d lens, it produced sharp, vivid images that defined late 70s Canon design. Originally priced around $250, the AT-1 remains one of the most reliable manual SLRs of its era.
At first, the camera didn't catch the flash, but in slow motion, it's there, just for a split second, a small spark of life from a piece of history. After all these decades, it still works, even if only for a blink. I switched to a different mode, recording 100 frames per second, and finally, it caught it. The flash, a tiny spark from the past. From this lot, I found only one camera with film still inside, but from the previous flea market, I have 4 more waiting. Next time, we'll see what stories those old rolls are hiding. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for what's hidden on those old films.